What's up, guys? Welcome to the line change. In this video, we're going to be asking the question, if the Canucks couldn't make Rick Tocchet stay, what do they have to offer to other NHL coaching candidates? Like, that is a real question. Like, if you offer Rick Tocchet 5x5 and he says no, and that is exactly the money that he was wanting, and he still walks away from that, what exactly do the Canucks have to offer other NHL coaching candidates who could be their next head coach? It's a really good question. So we're going to dive right into it. This article is coming from our friends at Canucks Army. Stefan Roget is the one who wrote this article. And so let's just go ahead and dive right into it. According to virtually all sources, the Vancouver Canucks pulled out all the stops when it came to attempting to extend head coach Rick Tocchet. Their final offer was reported to be somewhere in the range of $5 million per year over a term of 5 years. That's truly top-tier salary, even among the premium ranks of NHL coaches. The recently fired and now hired again, Mike Sullivan, was believed to have the highest coaching salary at $5.5 million. Even Tocchet's agent, Steve Mountain, said that the Canucks stepped up and made the decision hard. I'm going to quickly read a tweet from Rick Dollywall. Talking about what Tocchet's agent, Steve Mountain, said on the Canucks' offer, saying they stepped up, made the decision hard. You cannot say the Canucks did not extend themselves. If you want to check out the complete interview from Rick Tocchet's agent, Steve Mountain, go ahead and check it out on Donnie and Dolly. But in the end, that decision was made all the same, and it was for Tocchet to depart for another, presumably immediate coaching opportunity. Tocchet's reasons are, at this time, largely unknown and likely multifaceted. There's no doubt that the dreadful circumstances of the 24-25 campaign played a role. Nobody was happy with how the season played out on or off the ice, and the impetus to walk away from this situation is quite understandable. It's also possible that Tocchet isn't happy with the general direction of a team that seemed to take a clear step backward this year. And of course, if Tocchet goes on to coach Philadelphia, as is widely speculated, as of course we mentioned, Mike Sullivan is now off the board. He has signed with the New York Rangers, so that also takes away the Rangers as a possible landing spot for Rick Tocchet. In my opinion, it's now down to Philadelphia or Boston when it comes to Rick Tocchet. And of course, as we heard, John Cooper is also off the table, as he will be back for the Tampa Bay Lightning next season, which generally not only crushes my hopes and dreams of having John Cooper as the Canucks head coach, it also crushes the dreams of a lot of Vancouver Canucks fans as well. And of course, if Tocchet goes on to coach Philadelphia, as is widely speculated, one can't ignore that the siren call of the franchise he played his own best hockey for. The chance at a homecoming is no doubt part of the appeal. But in all this, wondering over why Tocchet chose not to extend with the Canucks, one can't help but wonder. If they couldn't convince him to stay, how are they going to convince another coach to sign on? What do the Canucks have to offer to another coaching candidate? The first and most obvious answer is a job and the money that comes with the job. The Canucks might not be willing to offer $5 million to any old interviewee, but they are clearly willing to pay a fair compensation. So they'll land a coach eventually. There are enough folks looking to coach in the NHL to make that more than certain, but landing a coach of their choosing or even the kind of coach they're looking for might be a challenge. Unfortunately, this too is a question of supply and demand. There are only so many top coaching candidates available, and there are a lot of coaching vacancies. As of this writing, 8 NHL teams are without a coach. The Canucks, the Flyers, I guess technically 7, as the Rangers are now off the board. The Canucks, the Flyers, the Penguins, the Bruins, the Ducks, the Kraken, and the Blackhawks. If we assume that Tocchet is going to Philadelphia, that still leaves 5 other vacancies for the Canucks to compete with. And that's just for right now. Other coaches are on the hot seat following early playoff exits, including LA's Jim Hiller and maybe even Tampa Bay's John Cooper. That's now no longer the case. So if Vancouver has a list of, say, 3 top candidates, they still have to convince one of those candidates to choose them over one of the many other vacancies, and it's kind of hard to see them doing that in the present moment. What's an offer from the Canucks? This is a good one. The chance to coach Quinn Hughes must be appealing. He's already one of the greatest defenders to ever skate in the league, and not every team has a talent like him already on the roster. Beyond Hughes, the state of the rest of the blue line might also reasonably be called a selling point. The Canucks have a top 4 and maybe even a top 6 relatively locked in for the next couple of seasons. That's something that most teams don't have on hand. But then there are the downsides. Though many have faith in a Elias Pettersson bounce back campaign, who really wants to be the coach responsible for that? Right or wrong, Pettersson is earning a reputation for being difficult to work with, and until he turns it around, his prominent presence on the roster might be called a deterrent to any new coach. Past Pettersson, that center depth is a little ghastly pending Filipinos' return to action. The top 6 right now consists of Pettersson, Hedl, DeBrusk, probably Connor Garland, and then Jonathan Lakromaki, Dakota Joshua, Niels Höglander. We're not saying there's not a potential there, but it's definitely not a selling point, and quite the contrary. There still isn't a practice facility nor a concrete plan to build one. But by far, the biggest detractor to a coach coming to Vancouver has to be the expectations. This isn't a situation in which a coach would be coming in to take a competitive team to the next level or to start building a new system from the ground up. This is a team in a somewhat desperate situation, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Everyone is aware of Hughes' dwindling contract. This next season will be the second last in his current deal, meaning he'll be eligible to sign an extension following it or not. That means a lot is riding on the 2025-2026 season. It's not really an exaggeration at all to say the future fate of the franchise is resting on the 25-26 campaign, and specifically how Hughes perceives it. And given that the biggest change the team projects to make this offseason is to its coaching staff, that means a lot of that is resting on the new coach's ability to make a difference. Everything will be under a microscope this upcoming year in a market that always has the zoom cranked up. Regardless, the job at hand is to take the NHL's most disappointing team in 24-25 and turn them around within the span of a single season. Who really wants to sign up for that amount of pressure when there are other less pressure-laden options? Really, this can go one of 2 ways for the Canucks. On the one hand, if they do land a coach of their choosing, it will mean that said coach both understands and accepts the challenge at hand. Maybe it's their competitive flair. Maybe they desire the difficulty. Maybe they've already got a plan to fix the Canucks. That's definitely an exciting prospect. The other way it can go, however, is compromise. That means that the Canucks don't necessarily land one of their top candidates and must instead accept someone who's just looking for those first couple of things they can offer, a job and a salary. This likely means a coach low on experience, which isn't necessarily doomed to failure, of course, but either way, one wishes that the Canucks were set up better to pursue their coach of choice and not set up to be so readily scare them off. So that was a very interesting article, a greatly written article by Stefan Roget. So kudos to Stefan for that. As I mentioned when I spoke with Quads. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that interview/video that I had with David Quadrelli, the editor-in-chief of Canucks Army, go ahead and check that out. But I mentioned to Quads that, all these articles on Canucks Army are so greatly written, and they obviously provide myself and other content creators with some great content. And this one is no doubt, I want to say probably maybe one of the best up until this point, as it's got lots of details and it really gets you wondering and thinking just what exactly do they have to offer the other NHL coaching candidates, and really makes us Canuck fans really think, who's going to be the next coach and how is next season going to go, as all eyes are on Quinn Hughes and whether or not he will resign. And obviously, right now we are in Operation Keep Quinn Hughes and make sure he is happy and he wants to come back. But I'm gonna dive right into my sponsor read, and then I'll do my closing thoughts for this particular topic and video. Are you looking for an energy drink that is jitter-free, crash-free, no sugars, no artificial colors or dyes, and no calories? Then Uppbeat Energy is for you. With over 15 plus unique custom-made flavors, go ahead and get a starter sampler pack, which includes 3 different flavors. Use code TheLineChange to get 10% off your next purchase. Uppbeat Energy, your taste buds' favorite energy drink. So my final thoughts on this is I have 3 candidates in mind that, just right off the top of my head. Obviously, Manny Malhotra is one of them, as he would be someone from the inside, and it makes a lot of sense, at least in my opinion. Another candidate would be Peter Laviolette. He has obviously the experience, and he obviously, he has instant, he's one of those coaches that gives you instant success. So that would be a reason why I would want to bring in Peter Laviolette plus his experience. But other than those 2, I'm not really sure on a third candidate. Obviously, Canucks Twitter is abuzz with who could be the next coach. A lot of people are saying Manny. Some people are saying, Laviolette. Obviously people were hoping and dreaming for John Cooper to come back, to come home, with him being from Prince George. And yeah, so those are 2 candidates that I would really like. Let me know in the comment section down below who you guys think would be a good candidate that perhaps that I haven't listed. Is there someone that isn't getting any attention at all and people are not really talking about? Go ahead and drop that down in the comment section down below. As always, if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to The Line Change and want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. You can find us on social media on Twitter /X @LineChangeFan. You can find us on Instagram @TheLineChange. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change. You can find our Facebook page. You can also find us on TikTok @the.line.change.po. And if you prefer a audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you do, please make sure to rate and review, as it is greatly appreciated. But that's going to do it for me in this video. As always, go Canucks go, and let's go Abby. And I'll see you guys in the next video.